Sam often said, if we don't talk for a week, it means we've broken up. In our year of dating, he used that line to control me the entire time. Until our last argument, he pulled the same trick again. Cold face, blocked and deleted me, walked away without even looking back. In that moment, I suddenly realized how rotten this relationship had become. I no longer tried to add him back over and over, no longer chased after him, begging for a reconciliation. Instead, I quietly changed my university application, did my best to avoid all the places he might appear. 7 days passed in a flash, and his friends started urging me. Sam has already cooled off. He's just waiting for you to apologize. If you keep being this stubborn, and he really dumps you, you'll have no one to cry to. Hearing that, I smiled and said, then let's break up. Just like he wanted. Chapter 1. The sun was blazing, but Sam's expression was cold. Underneath the indifference, there was obvious impatience. I've said it 100 times, Alice and I have known each other since we were kids. I just see her as a little sister, and I take care of her when I can. Can you stop getting jealous over nothing? It's really annoying. I said nothing, and unlike before, I didn't tear up in grievance, didn't rush to defend myself. I just felt so tired of getting upset over the same things again and again. It was pointless. All of it. Seeing me lower my head and stay silent. Sam suddenly softened his tone. All right, I know you're easily jealous. I'll try my best to keep some distance from her. The bitterness that had been piling up in my chest suddenly spilled over. I still couldn't hold back. My eyes turned red. Maybe there was really nothing going on between them. Just like Sam had said over and over, if he really liked Alice, why would he have pursued me? But then Sam continued, but you have to promise me something too. Alice got cursed at and called a homewrecker last time, just because you got mad. You know how hurtful that kind of thing is for a girl. The cicadas chirped loudly in my ears. But my heart plummeted into a deep abyss. I stared at Sam. His face was so familiar, yet so strange. What do you want? Find a chance to clear her name, all right? She cried about it again yesterday. Her eyes were all swollen. Absolutely not. I cut him off directly. Sam froze. Then his expression clearly darkened. Say that again. I said. Not possible. I clenched my palm tightly, refusing to let my voice tremble. Fine. Sam let out a cold chuckle. He pulled out his phone and, with practiced ease, deleted and blocked me. Julia. His voice was icy, even though it was the peak of summer. If you've got guts, then don't come crawling back later. Chapter 2. That night, one of his friends sent me a screenshot of Sam's social media post. The girl next door I grew up with has blossomed. 2 photos were attached. One of Sam and Alice's kids, around 3 years old. The other was a recent one of them. In the childhood photo, they were holding hands, both smiling with crescent-shaped eyes. In the present-day photo, they weren't holding hands, but they looked into each other's eyes with the same smiles. Alice commented, hee, I'm just as cute as I was back then, right? Sam replied, still just as greedy, little piggy. His friend said, see? Sam just sees her as a sister. He posted this to clear things up, so people don't misunderstand. I didn't reply. I just let out a bitter laugh. Sam wasn't clarifying things for me. He was helping Alice clear her name, to prove she wasn't a homewrecker. Later, while drying my hair after a shower, I suddenly thought of the Polaroids Sam and I had taken together. I dug out the photo album from the bottom of the drawer, gathered them up, and planned to destroy them tomorrow. Just before sleeping, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Only one photo. In the photo were 2 hands, tightly clasped. I recognized Sam's hand, so the other had to be Alice's. Their fingers were locked, perfectly interlaced, exactly like the childhood photo. Sister, do you think the fated rival can ever beat the childhood sweetheart? I stared at the message for a few seconds in silence, didn't reply, took a screenshot and blocked the number. Chapter 3. The next day, I went to a garbage disposal station. I destroyed all the photos, letters, and little gifts Sam had given me, one by one. After that, I revised my college application choices. Only once everything was settled did I open WeChat. My best friend had sent me the address for a get-together. Ever since the college entrance exam, our classmates had been partying almost daily, always at the same old familiar spots. So it wasn't surprising that as soon as I walked in, I ran into a few of Sam's friends. The moment they saw me, they started winking and nudging each other. Julia, here to look for Sam. Huh? What a coincidence, Sam just got here too. He's inside. Told you she couldn't wait 7 days. She didn't even last one. Sam is seriously a legend. One line and Julia's right back under his thumb. I'm not here for him. I frowned, already feeling uncomfortable. Honestly, this wasn't the first time I'd heard these kinds of remarks. But this time, I felt nothing but deep disgust. Quit pretending. Julia. I didn't bother replying. I just turned and walked out. The guys were caught off guard. Wait, she's really leaving? She's just putting on a show. Watch. By tomorrow the latest, she'll come begging to make up. I let out a short laugh and turned to look at them. All right then, you guys go ahead and wait. Chapter 4. Sam looked at the group of guys who just walked in, then glanced behind them. His gaze dimmed. He had clearly heard Julia's name just now, but she was nowhere to be seen. For some reason, Sam felt annoyed. He thought Julia had really been acting out lately. All this fuss, just over Alice? Didn't she get it? He and Alice had known each other since they were babies, running around naked together. If he really liked Alice, what business would Julia even have being here? Just then, his phone vibrated. Sam immediately picked it up and unlocked the screen. A new WeChat message. He smiled slightly. Must be a friend request from Julia. But when he opened WeChat, it turned out to be Alice. Sam, can you come pick me up? He frowned. You're so close. Can't you come by yourself? I hurt my leg. Alice sent a photo. Her calf was bleeding. The injury looked serious. But Sam's attention was caught by something else. The corner of the photo showed a patch of pale blue fabric. If he wasn't mistaken, that was Julia's skirt. He remembered she had one just like it. He immediately stood up and walked out without another word. Chapter 5. Sam. My leg hurts so much. Alice burst into tears the moment she saw Sam rushing over. What happened? Sam immediately crouched down to check the injury on her leg. It's all right. Just a surface wound. No stitches needed. He let out a breath of relief and gently comforted Alice until her sobs began to ease. Then, he turned to me coldly. Did you hurt Alice? How many times do I have to say this? Alice is like a sister to me. Can't you even tolerate that much without going crazy with jealousy? Sam. Alice gently tugged at his arm. You misunderstood. I fell on my own. It has nothing to do with Julia Jia. She spoke so cautiously, tears shimmering in her eyes, her voice full of trembling grievance. To anyone watching, it would seem she was covering for me out of fear, and I was clearly the villain. Why are you scared of her? Sam helped Alice to her feet. She gasped in pain, tears pouring down her cheeks. Sam immediately wrapped his arm around her waist. Lean on me. I'll take you to the hospital. But, what about Julia Jia? Sam looked at me coldly. Julia, apologize to Alice. Then we'll call it even. I let out a sharp laugh. Call the police. Let them check the security cameras. No need. I've known Alice for years. She's never lied. Sam's gaze fell on me, icy and full of contempt. But you're different. Julia, you have a record. You're a compulsive liar. Chapter 6. Sam was referring to the third time we gave each other the silent treatment. That time, after a fight, he blocked and deleted me and walked off without looking back. We were in a neighboring city for a math competition. I was unfamiliar with the area. After Sam left me behind, I tried to get a cab back to the hotel, but I was surrounded by a few shady drivers. I was terrified and had no idea what to do, until a boy from another school who was also in the competition stepped in and helped me out. He even took me safely back to the hotel. Sam had always been extremely sensitive about me talking to other guys. Even a few extra words could make him angry. So, I didn't tell him about what happened. But on the award day, that boy, Zach, came over to congratulate me. Sam's face changed instantly. I had to explain the truth to him. He pretended it didn't bother him at the time. But every time we argued afterward, he'd bring it up again, accuse me of lying, call me a compulsive liar. Back then, it used to make me feel so wronged. I'd try so hard to explain, to beg for forgiveness. But now, hearing Sam say those words again, I just found it laughable. Was it that he never trusted me at all, or that he was just biased toward Alice from the start? Either way, I didn't feel like asking anymore. Whatever. I turned around to leave, but Sam called after me again. Julia. I didn't look back. Then Alice's soft sobs started up again. Sam, my leg hurts. It's bleeding again. I'll take you to the hospital. Machem, sorry to trouble you again. Can you walk? I don't think so. Then I'll carry you. Are you sure? Stop talking. Special situation. Special treatment. You're so nice. Sam, I remember when we were little. You used to carry me like this too. I owe you so much. Their voices grew fainter and fainter, drifting away with the evening heat and the deafening chorus of cicadas. I finally stopped walking, but the tight ache in my chest wouldn't go away. It felt like something inside had slowly torn open and begun to bleed. When we're young, we love too deeply. How could we possibly let go so easily? But at least, I wouldn't shed another tear for Sam. My phone buzzed. Another message from an unknown number. Big sis. The heroine can't beat the childhood sweetheart you lost. Chapter 7. Since that day, Sam and Alice were practically glued to each other. Alice posted on her social media every day. My best friend even found a post from her alt account on a certain app. It was full of her little thoughts about secret crushes and falling in love. The post got pretty popular. There were thousands of comments. All of them encouraged her to confess bravely. Alice pinned one of the comments. I'll confess in 3 days. Wait for my update. 3 days later would mark exactly 1 week since Sam blocked me. He had said it many times before. A week of Cold War means it's basically a breakup. We'd been dating for a year, and that one sentence had held me hostage the entire time. I was the stubborn type, single-minded and loyal. Once I liked someone, I gave them my all. Sam was my first love. He had walked with me out of my family's shadow and out of my lowest point during senior year. I cherished this relationship deeply. That's why I kept backing down, compromising, apologizing, trying to make peace again and again. But I'd forgotten, when you lower yourself enough, they stop seeing your worth. So I quit the WeChat group we shared with our mutual friends, deleted the contacts of all his buddies, avoided every place where he might show up. No one knew I had changed my college preferences, except for my homeroom teacher and my best friend. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. That night, I went out to sing karaoke with my bestie. We had purposely picked the farthest KTV on the west side of the city. But even there, we still ran into Sam's friends. It almost felt like they had been waiting for me. As soon as they saw me, they came over. Julia. They surrounded me, and I had no choice but to stop. Chapter 8. Honestly, Sam's already calmed down. You know what he's like, stubborn mouth, soft heart. He's just waiting for you to go apologize. If you keep being so dramatic, and he really breaks up with you, you'll regret it. I chuckled. Sure, then we'll break up. Julia? Still playing hard to get? It's already a fire on your doorstep. Word is, Alice is about to confess to Sam too. Don't let someone else steal your man. So you all knew she was trying to steal him. Huh? I looked at them mockingly, half smiling. They exchanged glances, falling silent. After a moment, one of them finally spoke again. Julia. Sam really only likes you. Just go see him. That same old cafe you two used to go on dates. He's been wanting to go there again. He's just too proud to admit it. That whole Zach thing from before? He was super jealous. He never got over it. I didn't respond. All of it felt ridiculous, but I couldn't even bring myself to laugh. If his love always had to be so twisted, if it had to hurt me, humiliate me, for him to feel in control, then no, I didn't want it anymore. Just because a boy I barely knew congratulated me. He acted cold and sarcastic for weeks, yet expected me to understand and forgive. And when he and Alice were acting all cozy and ambiguous, did he ever consider how I felt? Was I jealous? Of course. Did it haunt me? Absolutely. But this was only the beginning. Let's see what happens next. Chapter 9. It was 11 p.m. The day was about to end completely. Sam downed a glass of beer but still couldn't shake the growing anxiety in his chest. He kept glancing at the private room's door. Every time someone opened it, his heart would skip a beat. But eventually, the door closed, and no one else came in. His phone stayed silent. He had never felt this restless over a few WeChat notifications. Every time it buzzed, he'd open it instantly, only to be disappointed when it wasn't Julia's friend request. The letdown was sharp and immediate. He'd gotten used to Julia always coaxing him first. He didn't know how to handle this kind of emotional withdrawal. Unable to help himself, Sam opened his phone again. His lock screen was a picture of him and Julia. He was sneaking a kiss on her cheek, and she had snapped a photo right at that surprised, happy moment. Sam smiled faintly. His heart unexpectedly softened. Fine. She had always been the one to make peace first. This time, he would be the one to lower his head. He opened WeChat and sent her a new friend request. Julia, meet me at our spot before midnight. The moment he hit send, he let out a long exhale. It was the first time in days he'd felt this relaxed and relieved. Julia liked him. She was sweet and obedient. She would definitely accept the request and come over. After all, she always feared breaking up with him. Every time they fought, it never lasted more than 3 days. She'd show up with tear-stained eyes, quietly begging him to make up. Sam felt a sharp pang in his chest. Maybe he really had gone too far. These past few days, he'd purposely used Alice to provoke Julia. But honestly, there was nothing between him and Alice. They hadn't seen each other in years. Their reunion had just felt fresh. He enjoyed the way she admired him, the way she looked at him like he was the center of her world. Guys his age were prideful, arrogant even. Two pretty girls competing for his attention. That kind of thing could really inflate your ego. But now, with Julia's silence dragging on, Sam realized the one he truly cared about was still her. A friend clinked glasses with him. Sam absent-mindedly sipped his beer while staring at the screen. After sending that message, the phone stayed dead silent. He started to feel uneasy. He couldn't resist. He sent another request. Julia, the 7 days are almost up. Still, nothing. His brows furrowed deeper. Staring at the lifeless screen, he sat motionless, like a stone statue. The once noisy room had unknowingly gone quiet. The air grew heavy, thick. Even breathing felt like it needed caution. Suddenly, the door burst open. Everyone looked up. A classmate rushed in, out of breath and beaming. She's here. Sam, she's downstairs. She dressed up so beautifully tonight. Do you want to go see her? Sam's tense face relaxed. He leaned back in his chair lazily, the corners of his mouth lifting in a smile. Go tell Julia. It's past midnight. Too late. I'm angry. If she wants to make up, she'll have to figure something else out. Chapter 10. The classmate who had spoken looked at Sam, stunned. What are you talking about? Sam? Julia? Reconcile? What does that have to do with her? It's Alice. Alice came here especially to see you. As he spoke, the classmate even winked at Sam on purpose. I won't say more. You better go down and check. It's a big surprise. The room burst back into chatter. Everyone was young, fresh out of the college entrance exam, that age when hormones run high and gossip about love spreads fast. Naturally, everyone was curious. But Sam didn't move. The smile that had rippled across his face earlier faded like waves disappearing into still water. At this age, emotions are impossible to hide. Everything shows on your face, and anyone with eyes could see it. He wasn't happy, not even a little. The crowd that had been stirring with excitement gradually quieted down. Only the classmate who had come and looked completely confused. Sam, aren't you going down? Sam suddenly laughed. Go down for what? Alice is downstairs. What's that got to do with me? But she likes you, and you like her too. Doesn't everyone know that? When did I ever say I liked her? If I remember correctly, from the beginning I've said, I only see her as a little sister. But you two have been acting pretty flirty lately. Sam didn't respond. He just looked down and unlocked his phone again. The friend request he sent, still no reply. And now, it was officially past midnight. He exited WeChat and dialed Julia's number. But all he got was a robotic voice. Julia had blocked him. Sam's face darkened. He borrowed a phone from a nearby girl and called again. This time, the line rang for a bit. Then someone picked up. Hello? Julia's voice came through the receiver. Soft, familiar, calm. Sam felt his heart tremble. He really did miss her. Hello? Why aren't you saying anything? It's me, Julia. Sam. The moment he said her name, there was silence on the other end. And then, the quiet click of the call ending. He dialed again. This time, no one picked up. Sam handed the phone back to the girl. He said nothing, showed no emotion. He just opened another can of beer and downed it in one go. Then he looked at the classmate standing near the door. His voice calm. Didn't you say she's downstairs? Let's go. Sam? Sam smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Come on, let's not embarrass the girl. She made the effort. I can't just throw it in her face. Chapter 11. Alice's confession was quite the spectacle. The girl was soft, delicate, and pretty. She had dressed up with care, making the whole thing feel like a full-on ceremony. She cried as she confessed, tears falling down her cheeks. It was emotional and moving. It drew a lot of attention. Many passers-by stopped to watch, recording videos and posting them online. Of course, I saw those videos too. The most viewed clip was the one where Sam accepted her flowers. Alice threw herself into his arms, crying, and tiptoed to kiss his cheek. I turned the video off with a blank expression, even though I was firm about the breakup, even though I'd already made up my mind to carve him out of my heart. But the heart is still flesh and blood. I really had loved him deeply for a whole year. So how could I not feel a little pain? Especially that moment, Alice kissing him, arms around his neck. There was a flash of suffocating hurt. I guess I just need some more time. Time to completely heal. My best friend silently handed me a can of beer. Drink more tonight. My cousin's coming to pick us up later. We drank quite a bit, screamed sad songs at the top of our lungs. By the time her cousin showed up, the two of us could barely stand. I looked at the refined-looking guy, slightly embarrassed. My head was a mess, and the first thought that popped into my mind was, I better not puke. That white shirt of his is way too clean. Julia, can you still walk? He politely supported my arm, half drunk. I squinted at him. You know me? Then it hit me, duh. Of course my bestie must have told him. We met at the math competition. He said, I'm Zach. I stared at him in a daze. The private room was still flashing with neon lights. A sad love song was playing on loop. Not far away, a group of boys and girls clapped and laughed. Servers passed with trays of drinks and fruit. It was the most chaotic, lively version of real life. But Zach just stood there, in his spotless white shirt, like he didn't belong to this noisy world. He looked so clean, so clean. It made me feel ashamed of myself. Chapter 12. After showering, I found a friend request on my phone. I saw the name Zach, hesitated for a long while before finally accepting it. He messaged right away, sleep early. Good night. I typed out good night and sent it, and somehow, I actually fell asleep quickly. The next morning, I woke up, got ready, and went downstairs to take out the trash. Unexpectedly, I saw Sam. He was standing under the tree by my building, just like he used to when he came to pick me up. Maybe the sun was too bright. I spaced out for a second. Almost thought we hadn't broken up, but just for that second, reality returned quickly. Sam had accepted Alice's confession last night. They were together now. I threw out the trash and picked up a package from the locker nearby. When I came back, he was still standing there, just watching me approach. Julia. Sam blocked my way. Can we talk? I have something to say. I ignored him and kept walking, but Sam grabbed my arm. He moved fast and snatched the box from my hands. It's heavy. Let me carry it upstairs for you. Before I could refuse, he had already rushed ahead. After my parents divorced, Mom remarried down south. Dad didn't want to stay in a sad city, so he took my little brother and left for work. The old family home, only I live here now. When we were dating, Sam often picked me up, He'd eaten at my place. We studied together. In the beginning, that relationship was, honestly, kind of sweet. Sam came back down shortly. It was hot, and he was sweating a lot from running. I thanked him and turned to leave, but Sam blocked me again. Can't you offer a cold drink? I didn't want any entanglements. I turned directly to go. Julia, even if we're breaking up, shouldn't we talk about it clearly? I stopped in my tracks. His tone carried a hint of mockery. Otherwise, people might get the wrong idea, don't you think? He had a point. If we were going to break up, it was better to make it clear, especially with college starting soon. I'd be starting a new life. I turned around and pointed to the drink shop across the street. There. Then. All right. Sam walked ahead first. I followed behind. The sun was harsh, and there weren't many people out. I didn't notice. Around the corner, a boy in a white shirt was riding a mountain bike. The hot wind blew his shirt like a sail. Maybe he was just passing by. Chapter 13. About last night with Alice. I think I owe you an explanation. Sam started talking on his own. I had no idea she was going to confess to me. There was a crowd. Lots of people watching. I really do see her as a sister. I didn't want to embarrass her. That's why I didn't reject her in public. He watched my expression as he spoke. I cleared things up with her afterward. I didn't start a relationship with her. Julia. I smiled faintly and almost asked. So, in order not to embarrass her, you accepted her flowers, her hug, even her kiss? Then what? Next time, to spare her feelings, will you go further? Sleep with her, maybe? But I didn't even bother to ask. Things like this, they've happened too many times. I was just tired, exhausted. What you're saying, none of it has anything to do with me anymore. I came here today only to make things clear between us. 7 days of silence means it's over. That was your rule from the beginning. Sam, I'm just asking you to follow your own rule. We're over now. Whoever you're with next, whatever you do, that's your freedom. You don't need to inform me. I gave him one last look. The blue and white school jacket he used to hold over my head in the rain. The scent of ink when he leaned close to right beside me. Our first kiss, restrained and quiet, amid the earthy scent after a summer shower. That moment in the crowd when he broke into a grin and walked against the flow of people toward me. He once said, Julia, let's be together forever. Go to the same university, live in the same city, get married, have kids, never be apart. It all felt like yesterday. And yet, like a lifetime ago, my eyes reddened slightly. But my mind was crystal clear. I'd really let go. You're really going to push me away like this? Yeah. I said the 7-day rule. That's true. But it's been 7 days. Julia, I reached out first. I tried to fix it. What more do you want? I had said everything I needed to say. I didn't want to argue anymore. I turned to leave. But Sam grabbed my arm. His brows were furrowed. Eyes burning. The admission letters are coming soon. We're going to the same university. Julia, don't you remember what you promised me? I hadn't forgotten. Not long ago. I was still dreaming about it. We were going to rent a little apartment near campus. Be together every single day. Be together forever. But teenage promises are fragile things. Don't fight with me anymore. I'm flying overseas with my parents tomorrow to visit family. Don't make me worry while I'm gone. When I come back, Julia, let's go register for college, together. Before I could respond, Sam's phone rang. He glanced at it, frowned, and hung up, but it rang again and again. Eventually, he answered. Alice? What's wrong? Okay, calm down. I'm coming now. I'll explain to your parents. Don't cry. It's not a big deal. I'll handle it. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Wait for me. Sam hung up and turned to me, apologetic. Alice's parents are furious. Her dad almost hit her. It's because of what happened the other day when we fought and your best friend called her a homewrecker. It got back to them. In any case, this is all because of me. I need to explain things to her parents. Julia, wait for me. Don't forget, we're going to college together. He rushed off. I stood by the window, watching him hurry away. And yet, my heart was as calm as a windless lake. Not a single ripple. Chapter 14. Sam went abroad. Before leaving, he borrowed someone else's phone to call me a few times. I didn't answer. Not long after he left, Alice followed him overseas. Their families were well matched, socially and financially. They'd always been close. I'm sure Alice's parents were thrilled to see them together. Really, I had only myself to blame. I was young, naive, and blindly in love, completely ignoring our class differences. Even if Sam had been loyal. With such a huge gap between our families, his parents would never have accepted me. Looking back now, maybe breaking up was actually a good thing. Once I got my college admission letter, I finally felt at ease and started a summer job. Dad still refused to come back. He just gave me a few words of encouragement over the phone and transferred a few thousand yuan to my account. He said life was tough out there, and now that I had gotten into college, I should be independent. From now on, he wouldn't be sending me money anymore. I couldn't help feeling a little sad. Mom had remarried and given birth to a baby boy. She doted on him like he was made of gold. I once saw a picture of my half-brother on my aunt's social media. His shoes were from some big-name brand, hundreds of yuan a pair. Meanwhile, the first pair of brand-name sneakers I ever owned had been a birthday gift from Sam. Since I still needed to pay tuition, I accepted the money, and I sincerely texted my dad to thank him. He didn't reply. I calmly closed WeChat, composed myself, and went back to work. I worked part-time at a large fried chicken restaurant. On my second day, I ran into Zach. He said it was his favorite place. He came in every single day, and sure enough, from that day on, I saw him every day. He always sat quietly in a corner, ordering tons of food, but barely touching any of it. It always ended up going to me. My coworkers teased me behind the counter. That guy's totally into you, right? He comes here every day, clearly just to see you. He's so handsome too, clean cut and smells so nice, while filling a cup of soda. I laughed. No, nothing like that. He's my best friend's cousin, and he's here every day because he loves this chicken. That's all. But then the manager chimed in. Who said that? Before you started working here, I never saw him once. I paused, stunned. My eyes instinctively drifted toward Zach, quietly seated in the corner. His food was mostly untouched. He was hunched over, quietly doing problems on his tablet. I pressed my lips together and looked away. But deep down, I reminded myself, Julia, one mistake is enough. My best friend's family was already wealthy, but she once told me her aunt's side was even richer. Zach's family had long been settled in Beijing. He was only in town to visit his grandparents for the summer. In a couple of weeks, he would return to that world, a world far, far away from someone ordinary like me. I started avoiding Zach. He was too smart not to notice. That day, I received his second message on WeChat. Julia, do you really dislike me? I stared at those words for a long time. My throat tightened. My chest felt heavy. How could anyone dislike someone like Zach? But some things are better left untouched. Maybe it's better if nothing ever begins at all. No, you're great, but I think you're causing me a bit of trouble. I'm planning to quit tomorrow. The typing indicator showed typing for a long while, but in the end, he just sent one sentence. You don't have to quit. Julia, I'm sorry. I won't bother you again. Lying on my bed, face buried in the pillow, I stayed still for a long time. Finally, I typed 2 words. Thank you. Chapter 15. Time passed quickly. For the rest of the summer break, I didn't see Zach again, but every now and then, during breaks at work, I'd unconsciously glance toward the corner he used to sit in. So many people came and went, but that quiet figure never appeared again. Alice posted on her social media often. Sam's silhouette would show up in her updates from time to time. Occasionally, I ran into some of his friends. At first, they would still mention him, telling me that Sam had asked about me, but I ignored it. Gradually, no one brought him up anymore. When it came time to report to school, Sam had just returned from abroad. The first thing he did was come to see me, carrying bags full of gifts, designer logos prominently displayed, flaunting their price tags. Julia, I bought all of this for you while I was abroad, he said. Whenever I saw a pretty dress or necklace, I'd think of you and couldn't help but buy it. See? It's only been a short time, but I already bought you so much. He offered the gifts with a rare look of caution beneath his smile. And don't listen to those rumors. There's nothing between me and Alice. My parents just like her, so they invited her to stay with us for a few days. Julia, you're not mad anymore, right? For a moment, I felt a bit dazed. Over our year of dating, I'd nearly forgotten. Sam used to be careful like this. At first, he pursued me passionately, but as our love faded, his posture grew higher and higher. The power was always in his hands. But if I no longer loved him, if he no longer meant anything to me, what power could he possibly have? I'll come pick you up tomorrow. We can go to campus together. Alice is starting her final year of high school. She'll be too busy to bother us from now on. He went on talking to himself. I just smiled and waited for him to finish. Julia, you're smiling, so you're not mad anymore, right? That familiar smug confidence returned to his handsome face. He stepped forward, trying to hug me, but I stepped back. Sorry, you'll have to go report to school on your own. You're still mad at me? His face darkened, clearly annoyed. I've already compromised twice. Julia. I looked at him calmly. And in that moment, he seemed almost like a clown to me. I spoke slowly. No, I'm not mad anymore. I just go to school in Beijing now. We're not in the same city. Sam froze. I think it was the first time I'd ever seen that expression on his face. Shock bloomed into panic, then into a helpless, colorless dread. You're lying, right? If this is about Alice, I'll call her right now. I'll tell her never to come near me again. He pulled out his phone. His hand was shaking, but I stopped him. There's no need. It's not necessary. Sam, everything about you has nothing to do with me anymore. The night was deep, and the stars shone bright. The sky was so clear and vast, like the boundless future waiting for me. I gave him a genuine smile. Let's not see each other again. Julia. His voice drifted after me in the night breeze, trembling with a sadness I didn't expect. But I didn't stop. I didn't look back. To me, Sam was truly just a stranger now. Chapter 16. The day I registered at the university, Sam still showed up on campus. I treated him like a stranger, not sparing him a single glance. And he, always so proud and self-important, naturally wouldn't lower himself to cling to me. Still, he kept appearing at a distance. Never too close. Never too far. I also ran into Zach. To my surprise, we'd ended up at the same university, but we didn't speak. The moment he spotted me, he stopped in his tracks, paused for a few seconds, then kept walking. Ultimately, we passed each other like complete strangers. Sam lingered around our campus for a week before finally leaving. Only after he was gone did I breathe a genuine sigh of relief. A new life began, classes, part-time jobs, my days were packed. Every now and then I crossed paths with Zach. From his very first day, he caused quite a stir. Many girls liked him. In the dorm late at night, my roommates often brought him up. From them I learned a lot. He had excellent grades, came from a good family, was polite, gentle, yet somehow distant, untouchable. He turned down countless confessions and soon earned the title of our campus's aloof flower on a high peak. I never joined those conversations, nor did I mention that we'd met long ago and shared a tiny slice of the past. Some people appear in your life only to dazzle you for a moment, leaving an indelible mark, and that's all. When autumn arrived, so did my birthday. After dinner out with my roommates, I saw Sam waiting under the dorm building. Even more surprising, Alice was with him. The moment she spotted me, her eyes reddened and she shot me a vicious glare, only to drop her head and start sniffling. Sam looked thinner, almost haggard. He held a huge bouquet of my favorite flowers, along with a pile of gifts and a cake. Sensing the tension, my roommates slipped upstairs. Sam walked up to me. I studied his still handsome yet unfamiliar face and felt not a flicker of emotion. I really didn't love him anymore. Julia, it's your birthday today, he said softly. I don't mean anything else. I just wanted to celebrate it for you. He offered me the flowers, a faint hope shining in his eyes. Seeing that look, I suddenly remembered my old self gazing at him the same way, waiting for him to lower himself to reconcile. I couldn't help but smile. Sam's eyes lit up. Julia? Go home, I said calmly. My roommates already celebrated with me. Don't come again. Even if you show up 100 times, it won't change anything. Sam, I don't love you anymore. That's impossible, he blurted. Impossible. We're each other's first love. Julia, you said you loved me, really loved me, more than anyone. He seemed completely flustered. I know. It's all because of Alice. She sent you those messages and posted those stories behind my back so you'd misunderstand. I brought her here today so she could tell you herself. I never liked her. She did it all. He yanked Alice forward roughly. Tell her the truth. You told me from the start that you had a girlfriend and didn't like me. Alice stammered, clearly frightened. It was my fault. I couldn't accept it. I used our childhood friendship to pressure him. Those photos on social media, I angled them on purpose. Sam didn't know anything, but you enjoyed it, didn't you? Sam? I cut in. 2 girls both in love with you, fighting over you. If I hadn't broken up with you, you and Alice would still be tangled up. Maybe you never loved her that much, but you loved having her cling to you. Julia, you've got it wrong. Sam panicked. From start to finish, you're the only one in my heart. I stopped loving you a long time ago, I said quietly. Back in our last fight, during that long silent standoff, I fell completely out of love. Chapter 17. I don't believe you. Julia, you once said you were stubborn, that when you loved someone, it would be for life. The bouquet slipped from Sam's hands, but he clung tightly to my sleeve, refusing to let go. Stop clinging to me. Let go. I won't. Julia, you can't treat me like this. You can't just sentence me to death over one stupid mistake. That's not fair. I struggled hard, again and again, but I couldn't shake him off. He only gripped me tighter. Just then, someone came up and forcefully pushed Sam away. She told you to let go, didn't you hear? I held my aching wrist and looked up at the person in front of me. It was Zach. Don't be afraid. He turned and glanced at me, then stepped in front to shield me. Sam's eyes locked onto Zach's face. A few seconds later, he let out a bitter laugh. I knew it. It's you again. I knew it. Julia, you liar. You manipulative witch. You're just breaking up with me because of him, right? You were already messing around with him back during the Olympiad, weren't you? So what were you pretending to be heartbroken for? Julia, you're just cheap. Before he could finish, Zach punched him square in the face. Under the dim, misty glow of the street lamp, Zach's expression was cold as frost as he stared down at Sam. Say one more disgusting thing. Go on. Sam was never the type to back down. He swung back immediately. Zach might have looked gentle and slender, but his punches were fierce and precise. After a few rounds, Sam was clearly losing, but Zach's face wasn't unscathed either. I stood frozen in shock, my whole body numb with fear. Only when several security guards rushed over did I finally snap out of it. Zach was pulled away. Sam wiped the blood from his face, his eyes burning with fury as he stared at Zach. I hit a nerve, didn't I? That's why you snapped. I've known it since the Olympiad days. You like her, Zach, right? Lusting after someone else's girlfriend, what kind of man does that make you? Always acting so noble and pure, but inside you're filthy and despicable. You and Julia, 2 lying frauds, you really are a perfect match. Sam. I stepped forward slowly and raised my hand. A crisp slap echoed through the air as it landed hard across his face. Tears streamed down my cheeks. I regret it more than anything, ever loving a piece of garbage like you. Chapter 18. That night's incident was eventually smoothed over and didn't escalate. I heard that Sam didn't press charges, but since Zach threw the first punch, he still received a minor disciplinary warning. I thought about it for a long time, and finally sent him a message on WeChat to thank him. It took a while, but he eventually replied. Then buy me a cup of coffee. We agreed to meet at a book cafe near campus. The sky was overcast that day. The autumn wind carried a chill that cut to the bone. Zach arrived before I did. He wore a light khaki trench coat. Standing beneath a tree by the roadside, gazing quietly toward the school gate, still and patient. As if he could wait a lifetime. I saw the scab on his face, the bruise stretching across the tail of his brow. A wave of sourness rose in my chest. Someone like Zach probably had never been hit his whole life. Julia. He stepped through the fallen leaves, his voice gentle in the wind. Does your injury still hurt? It's nothing, just a scratch. I glanced at the fading bruise on his face, then lowered my eyes. Let's head over. It's just across the street. I turned first and walked ahead. Zach quietly followed behind me. For a moment, I felt dazed. The scene felt familiar, like that day in summer, when Sam asked me to buy him a cold drink. But the emotions I felt then and now were worlds apart. I ordered the coffee. Zach sat across from me, in a quiet booth by the window. We drank the coffee to the last drop, without exchanging a single word. The air between us was heavy, still, but something unspoken quietly stirred and grew. I didn't even have the courage to lift my head and look at him. My mind flickered with fragments, like a slideshow spinning too fast. That moment back in the Olympiad, when he suddenly appeared and stepped in to protect me. That stunning glance when he came to pick up my drunk friend and me. Those long summer afternoons at the fried chicken shop, where he sat quietly in the corner, waiting until my shift ended. Day after day, and that last line in our chat. I'm sorry, I won't bother you again. That night at the dorm building, when he shielded me with his body, his back tall and firm, his eyes filled with worry. One memory after another overlapped, with the person now sitting in front of me, and only then did I realize. I remembered everything about him, so clearly, but all my courage seemed to have been used up at 17. I remembered how Sam's parents first looked me over from head to toe, polite, but unable to hide their disdain. Not long after, Alice showed up. I lowered my gaze, looking at the faint calluses on my palm, the fuzzballs worn out on my sleeves, my 80 yuan sneakers, my cheapest phone, this cheapest coffee. Zach had probably never drunk coffee this bad. Yet for me, this was a rare little indulgence. His parents, too, would probably frown if they saw me, worried that their son might get entangled with a girl like me. Some lessons in life you only need to learn once. I finally smiled, barely noticeable, then lifted my head, pretending to be at ease. It's getting late. Shall we go? Julia. I could sense he wanted to say something, but I smiled and cut him off. Sorry, I have a shift soon. I can't be late. Zach just sat there quietly, his deep, still eyes like a calm lake that held an ocean of restrained sorrow. I looked away. I didn't dare keep looking. He stood up. I'll walk you back. No need. I'll take you to the bus stop then. Zach. Really, it's fine. Finally, I mustered up the courage to look him in the eyes. I'm used to being alone. He looked at me, long and deep, before finally nodding. Okay. I thanked him again, then turned around and walked out of the bookstore without looking back. The wind was cold. I pulled my coat tighter, buried my face in the checkered scarf. As I lowered my head, I thought, maybe a tear fell, or maybe it was just my imagination. Chapter 19. Sometimes, our campus felt so small that Zach and I would run into each other nearly every day. And now, it felt so big that I hadn't seen him even once since. The girls in the dorm rarely mentioned him anymore, but I still thought of him often. The truth is, that day after leaving the bookstore, I hid behind an advertisement board on the roadside and looked back. Zach sat alone by the window. He stared at the beautiful brocade box in front of him, and stayed there for a long, long time. Autumn passed. When I returned from a competition with the academic team, Beijing welcomed its first snow. Just as I stepped off the bus, my phone rang. It was my best friend, Julia. My cousin. He was in a car accident. My aunt and uncle are on vacation abroad and can't get back in time. We won't make it there until tomorrow. Can you please go to the hospital first and check on him? Her voice was shaking with panic, on the verge of tears, and I, standing in the swirling snow, felt as if my hearing suddenly vanished. as if the world faded into a white, buzzing silence. By the time I reached the hospital and found Zach's room, it was already dark outside. His head was wrapped in bandages. His left arm was in a cast, for fluid dripped slowly from the hanging bag. His eyes were closed, as if he were sleeping. His face, pale from blood loss, nearly blended into the white of the bedsheets. I stood silently at the door, gazing at his face, and suddenly, tears welled up uncontrollably. Late that night, Zach developed a high fever. The doctor came and gave him an injection, but the fever wouldn't subside. He started murmuring nonsense in his delirium. I dipped a cotton swab in water and moistened his dry, cracked lips. When I reached out to feel his forehead, he suddenly called my name, Julia. My hand froze midair. Zach seemed to open his eyes in a daze and glance at me, but then quickly shut them again, sinking into unconsciousness. Julia, he whispered my name again. Can you not hate me so much? Please. The tears I had held back for so long finally burst through. My heart was in knots, overwhelmed, aching. A tidal wave of pain I couldn't hold back crashed through every wall I'd built inside me. Zach, I never hated you. I've never hated you, not once. He shook his head weakly in his fevered dream. Don't lie to me. She doesn't want to see me, not even once. I bent down, my lips, damp with tears and trembling, brushed against his dry ones, and just like that, he calmed down. The tear trembling at the tip of my eyelash finally fell, blending quietly with the single drop that pooled at the corner of his eye. Zach slowly opened his eyes. Julia, yes, it's me. I'm here. I kissed him again, gently. My tearful eyes tried their best to smile. Does it still hurt? Anywhere uncomfortable? But he didn't answer. He just stared at me without blinking, as if trying to confirm that I was real, not part of a dream. A long time passed before he finally spoke, his voice faint. It's snowing. Are you cold? Julia, on the way here, did you get chilled? Outside the window, the snow fell silently. I shook my head, and as another tear slipped down, I pressed my cheek gently against his arm. In that moment, I let myself fall for him.